Go over a few quick things. If you do need to use the washroom, by all means. If you go out the auditorium, left, down the hallway you'll find it. We should also take the opportunity to turn our phones off. Oh, there we go. Unless you want us to hear your ringtone. Some of them are interesting. And as well, I really want to take the opportunity today to thank you all for being here. The energy in here is so kind and so warm. So I think with that, why don't we give Opie a big warm welcome.
Welcome. I have to say thank you so much, you guys. Welcome to this incredible afternoon. Opie's Connection is so honored and excited to connect to Access Now TV, and we are going to be doing our show. And I can't tell you how honored I am that you guys are going to be holding space with me today and sharing this incredible experience. Now, I want to see a show of hands here. How many people have had a psychic medium read? See, that just warms my soul, I have to say. I have to tell you, growing up, you couldn't hear of somebody actually experiencing that. You didn't know of these things. My grandmother was a Reiki master, and it was hush, hush. You know, we laughed when the crystals came in the mail. Now I really appreciate it. So I have to say it's quite the whirlspin. But if you know anything about psychic mediums, they predominantly are what we call clairvoyant. And that means that they can see things. Oddly enough, that is my least predominant clair. I am what we call a claircognizant psychic medium. The information comes in and it goes out. I don't remember anything after, folks. So when you email me Monday saying, it makes sense now, Opie, I actually won't remember what you're talking about until that TV show airs and I can rewatch it, right? With that, my team loves to do a bunch of random things for me. They touch my forehead for yes. They slam the back of my head for no, because I'm a little stubborn, I have to say. And they squeeze either side if you or I are saying information that's very important and needs to be reiterated. With that, they do a lot of things with my body. So you'll see me like a duck on water. It's calm, cool, collected, chuckles, of course, and underneath it's a mile a minute. So for somebody who is experiencing depression, my head will spin. If somebody is an alcoholic, I'll want to purge and my head spins. If somebody's diabetic, my hands and feet go ice cold. If somebody's on a lot of medication, I get a really bitter taste on my tongue. So I get a whole bunch of different things that occur. Now, the big thing that you need to remember is there's a lot of energy behind me. Can you imagine how much is connected to you? And the thing is, when I'm channeling information, I'm not going to get it 100% because I've got Bob, Sally, Janice trying to shove through to get to their loved one, and I'm doing my best to honor the one that's the strongest soul, okay? So if you resonate with a lot of the information, please own it. Work with me. Let's explore it. I want you to receive that connection to your loved one. And then with that, there's such thing called piggybacking. Spirit loves to jump in a whole bunch at once, and they love to force feed their way. So if something's not resonating with you 100%, just let it go. If somebody else is recognizing, oh my gosh, that is my loved one, let me know as well. I'll put them aside and be able to connect to you after, okay? Oh, I just got hit by a lot of energy. Are you guys wanting to hear some loved ones? All right, so my husband here, Jason, will be doing the honors of having the microphone, okay? So I'm sorry, you're going to have to stand up and work with me. He's going to do his best to get that to you, and I just want to say thank you to the beautiful staff that has helped us with this, Graham, Chris, and Patrick, setting this all up. So here we go, you guys. Now, I've got this older gentleman that has been knocking on the back side of me since I was meditating earlier today. And he's a bit taller. I look up at him, Now, I feel as though he had some kind of neurology damage in his system because a part of his face is slanted, okay? So at some point, he had a stroke and definitely had issues with the right side of his body. It felt like his hip dragged and his arm hanged a little bit. But he lets me know when he was younger, he was quite strong, he was quite sturdy, and he had quite good sense of humor. So this feels like a grandfather who was connected to somebody in this audience. Now, why am I not seeing any hands? He's a little upset as well. So this gentleman kind of walked like this, but I felt like he was a laborer in life because his hands feel sore. They feel like they are sore in the joints, and his knees and back were quite the challenge. Nobody at all, hey? Goodness gracious, it feels like a Bob, Barry, somebody like that. Oh, well yeah, I would take the bit. So the thing is, I'm not clairaudient. So what happens is a lot of times it comes in these little pieces. So the main sound is what I'm going to connect to, okay? Do you know of somebody that's a little bit, like he feels stronger in stance, a little taller, and well, he likes to pretend he is. So stand up, let's work with this and see if it is. And you said it was Bill? No.
My Uncle Bill, my great uncle.
Oh, there we go. Was he quite the hard worker? Like, did he labor a lot in life?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
My sister might know more.
I feel like you need to both
Yeah.
stand up, my friend. Now, here's another thing. Please do your bestie or your friend or whatnot the service. If they're having amnesia, which is a real thing, help them out, okay? So Bill's here, standing here, and he lived a good life. He feels like he lived a great life. Did he? It's interesting because I feel like he was very connected to the family in the sense that he connected to a lot of the nieces and nephews, but did he have one or two children?
He had no children, but he took care of my grandfather because my grandfather's dad died.
There we go. Okay, so he's owning that, but he was very involved with the family, right?
Yes, very much, yeah.
Was he kind of Snoopy?
I don't know. We were really young. My dad would know, but we were really young.
I feel like he always knew everybody's tea, if that makes sense. Like, if he wouldn't go seek it, but he always listened when it was happening, right? So it's interesting because he had a great sense of humor, too. That's something that I'm really connecting to. And it feels as though when you would meet him, you would expect to be kind of like shut down by him because he feels a little intimidating. But then when you get to know him, he's butter inside. Does that make sense?
Yes, he was very sweet, yes.
Yeah, very kind, very genuine, very soft, and very conscious with his relationships, right? Now, were you guys a little challenging growing up? Were you? Did you get into mischief at all?
Probably. Possibly.
But did you always do it in the way that the parents wouldn't know because it was out to the side that you would be exploring?
Oh yeah, the parents never really paid attention.
Yeah, because it was like somebody would poke in and be like, I don't know if you're supposed to do that. I feel like he would be on that. Does that make sense too?
Yeah.
And who fought over the leg on the turkey? Because he's bringing me to Thanksgiving and saying that there's some kind of dynamic or communication around the turkey leg.
I don't know. My grandpa probably.
Okay, so you guys had like a little bit of
testosterone
around this?
Yeah, we always had Christmas supper with him and our family.
There we go. Okay, so that's something validating, recognizing that I wouldn't understand why he's bringing up the holiday meal, and you guys would. He shows me that he got quite flustered with his body, and he was really good at trying to hide it. I feel as though people didn't know the challenges that he experienced, and when his soul left this earth, it had actually a really big impact. And he was really grateful for it because it just showed how many connection pieces he had. Because he showed me that he was a very solitary gent. Mm-hmm. He was at home a lot and he was doing his own thing, but he always loved being connected to people, exploring what people were doing and trying new things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense because he wasn't married or
right?
anything.
And did he have was he part of a business that he was able to connect to a big community?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, he's acknowledging that we heard stories that we wouldn't have known about him after he transitioned as well. So he was kind of honored with that. But he enjoys seeing your lives. Your lives are busy. Your lives are unique, and he laughs a lot of the time because there's so much joy. You guys lead with joy, hey?
That's awesome.
He says there's a wee bit of chuckles, so I really enjoy that myself, but that's my turn, of course. He's laughing at me. So I just want to thank you for receiving that,
Awesome.
okay? He was
Thank
quite
you.
stubborn on coming first.
We'll have to let my dad know that.
He
Yeah.
will love that. So go figure. Thank you so much for
Thank
receiving
you.
that. Yeah. All right. So that was quite interesting. Hey, it took a little minute there. Go figure. Now, let me just see here. Okay, my breath is definitely being taken. I have impact on my throat here, and I'm having a lot of energy in my chest. So I feel as though we had a situation in the beginning here where we had health impacts of our stomach and our throat. It feels as though we had a systematic cancer. Okay, maybe pancreatic cancer, and then everything started slowly shutting down. But the transition period, it was definitely our breath that was impacted. This feels as though it's a male energy, but it could be a female with a really big attitude, I have to say. So I don't want you to get stuck on that. Okay, and this individual had dogs. I feel like there's 2 dogs at home that were quite bark yappy. Is there anybody in this area over here that's connecting to that? Oh, look at that. There we go. You took your time putting that hand up, I have to say. Listen, you guys, nobody's going to bite here, just so you know. Oh. So is this actually a female for you, connected to you?
No, it's a male.
Ah, interesting. Did they have a bit of like a softer side in the personality that I would connect to female energy, or were they predominantly very strong personality?
He was very connected with females around him.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I love his heart. I feel like he was joyous. I feel like he was energetic, and I feel like he was a ball of energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell me his name?
Why isn't it coming out?
Little throat chakra there. It's just nerves. I'm here with you, and it's just us.
Yeah, so that would have been my stepmother's dad who recently passed away in August.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting, because normally when spirit transitions in a quick way, in the matter of less than a year, it can come in very fragmented for me, okay? So I just want you to be aware of that. But he's very strong with his energy, a little bit of challenging getting clarity on the pieces. But do you resonate with the dogs, or do you have the dogs?
He has dogs.
Okay, and
Yeah.
were they very notoriously yappy?
Yes.
Okay. Because I feel like everybody would leave and be like, oh my God, like the dogs drove me nuts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, go figure. Okay. So you were really good at connecting and keeping in communication. Does that make sense? I feel as though we were connected. Does that not resonate for you?
No.
Okay, so is this him wishing that there was a connection point?
It could have been, yeah.
Okay, so let me just see. Can you say your name and then his name for me?
Haley, and it's not coming out. I don't know why.
That's okay. All right. So did we have a hard time being accepted by this part of the family, in the sense of sometimes there was judgment or expectation and you were like, can we just love me?
So my dad, that's his wife's family, and I wasn't close to my dad when I was younger, even though that they were in the close vicinity.
Okay, that's interesting. There feels like there's acknowledgement because the head's down. There should have been things that have been changed, because even though there was a lot of connection points, it wasn't like in depth in that way. It was kind of, no, okay. So they're showing me that you look for longing, deep connections. That's something that's significant in your life. And the people that you choose are family. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You recreate everything that they weren't able to provide you. Is that making sense
Yeah.
as well? He's celebrating that. That's what he's bringing forward, because you're very strong. You're very unique and beautiful and limitless. And sorry, are you very intuitive too? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like you could be up here doing my job, my friend. That's incredible. So he's celebrating that. Do you actually like smell him in your area ever?
Not smell him, but I have talked with him.
Okay, because it feels like he just kind of checks in and you sense him and the presence of him. But there's something around candles. Was there a unique smell that you connect to him? Because I keep getting it with candles that decompresses you. Is there something around citrus smells that you really kind of lean towards?
He was very like an aftershave kind of guy, like in that sense.
Okay. What about you, though? What do you tend to go to for candles?
Like bourbon, vanilla, those types of things.
Okay. He's showing me citrus for something. Do you have a hard time with vitamin C?
Vitamin D.
Okay. Because there's something there around the vitamin C that I'm getting flagged on that could be a sign that they're giving me with the citrus fruits. I don't like grapefruit for you, but it feels like there's something else there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I feel very joyous with his energy, very limitless, and very free of the burdens of this earth, because it felt like it was an uncomfortable transition and very prolonged, longer than he expected, but I felt like he had to delay it for the fact that people around him weren't ready for the goodbye. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And was there a lot of paperwork that we know of?
There was definitely some issues with families and assets and things like that once he passed.
He spread a whole bunch of stuff over on the desk and was like, oh my goodness. So I was like, that's a bit of a mess. He's like, well.
Yeah, exactly how he would react.
Not my issue, right?
Yeah.
So there is some acknowledgement about that, but he just says, let's get the stubbornness out. People are really narrow-minded when it connects to that. So he's just saying for the family to kind of let that go and just flow and trust, because the most important part is the pieces that you hold within. Yeah. It's not the external. So just a gentle reminder, because you have some tense people around you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Is there anything I can ask him for you?
I don't think so.
Okay. I just want to thank you for receiving that.
Yes, thank you.
That feels beautiful, and he feels like he just wants to hug you. Like he just wishes he could bear hug you the way you would like to receive that. Does that make sense? Thank you. Okay. It's always interesting because Spirit comes through to us, not the ones that we usually expect. It's usually the ones we need. And the message will always find the person that it's meant for. So that's the beautiful thing. Okay. Okay. So I have a female energy stepping forward right now. She feels very slender in body, very conscious with her well-being and her health. Bright energy, big smile. I feel as though she wouldn't like me to acknowledge it, but she's a little bit shorter in stance. And I feel as though she had a big family. I keep getting a 5 around this, and I feel like there's 3 of one gender and 2 of another. And she feels as though she transitioned later in life, feels 65 years old or later there. She feels as though she has a beautiful face. I keep being taken to her jawline and her beautiful smile. And she was very outdoorsy. When I connect to her transition, it's interesting because I just get it through the body, but not a lot of recognition around it. So I'm not sure if she had some issues with cognitive abilities at all during this transition period. Is this connecting for anybody? I keep getting I noticed that over there. There was a little head nod. Is it her? Is that connecting for you at all? Oh, yeah. Everybody's making me work here, no? We want to talk to our loved ones and then we don't, right? Please stand up, my friend? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Were you like, I was not expecting to receive anything?
Not at all,
Oh, go
no.
figure. Those are the best ones, right?
Yeah.
Is this your grandmother?
It is, yeah.
Okay, was she very particular about her environment, like very OCD?
You could say that,
Okay,
yeah.
because I feel like...
But almost in the opposite way, I guess. It
like,
was very chaotic in her way.
But she knew where everything was,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
are you very particular of having cleanliness?
Extremely.
Okay, because she's showing me it's like one way and then the other way. It's a yin-yang kind of balance, right? Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
yeah.
So that's incredible that she's laughing so hard right now. She's like, if we could have just, let that go, but no, we had to bring that out in public. So now, did she do a lot of things outside? Did she tend to the birds and the garden quite a bit?
Well, she was very outdoorsy, I guess. She was very busy outside. She liked to build things and...
Right, and hike. I keep getting like a lot of walking
Yeah,
and stuff. And
yeah.
She must not have been here because I'm getting like some steepness. Like, was she around the mountains or enjoyed the mountains?
Yeah, we would go camping in Cypress Hills. That's about as closest to the
Okay,
mountains we
there
would
we
get.
go. Because I'm getting a little glute burn, and I'm like, listen, that's not normal for
Yeah, we
Regina.
would take her hiking on the trails there.
She's making me feel it.
And it was funny when you talked about the health stuff because in her world, I think she was very healthy, but she was
not.
probably not.
It's like, no offense, Mom, but my parents' generation where they're like, oh, we'll just wipe the raw chicken off and it'll be good. They're like, that's good enough, where we're like, oh. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting because her perspective was also very narrow-minded too sometimes. Like she was very like set in her ways. Does that make sense?
Yes, in the way that she was actually very open, but when she was very narrow, she maybe didn't see that.
Right? Now, her daughter, she has a daughter, that's your mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did they have a bit of friction too? Like it was like, oh, how do I? Oh, we acknowledge this, eh? I feel like is this your sister?
This is my best friend. She may as well be my
Oh
sister
my gosh,
too.
right? Well, Grandma's acknowledging sisters, so
Yes.
your family, because you guys have been together since you were very young, right?
Well, I do have a sister that,
Okay.
yeah, when she hears this, she's going to be like, uh-huh.
Were you together as friends since 10?
Well, great.
Oh, grade 10. Okay, there we go. Whoops. It's like I'm a psychic. Shocking, right? It's
Wow.
like they throw this at me and I'm like, I don't know why. I'm just going to say it, right? Okay, so that's really cool. She's acknowledging and that's validating too because you actually helped her with the grief. Does that make sense? Because you had to take care of your family.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a real duality because you weren't really able to have that space, to have the grief and feel that vulnerability. And she has some acknowledgement of that for you because you had to process in a different way than everybody else. And you've kind of had to be a leader in some ways in your family, she says. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, can you just drop the role? She's like, let those fires burn. They're meant to blow up, okay? It's not your responsibility. Sometimes we have to disconnect because she's just showing me a recognition
Yes.
that it's hurting you and not benefiting you. Does that make sense as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, can we just ask that? Because if you were here, you and I would be having a face-to-face right now and having that conversation. So just tell your family, Opie said.
I plan to. I'm going
Right?
to.
And you can do it in my jolly voice. Like it wasn't intended to be aggressive or anything, but she says the axe was dropped today, so let's let that go. Does that make sense as well?
It does, yeah.
Good, okay. With that, she wants you to play more. Oh, I guess we know. We know what this means.
I don't know if I want to share. I had a parenting moment this morning that makes sense. on that.
Right?
Yeah.
She's just
Yeah.
like, it's time to experience some joy too. And let me tell you, my team has been knocking on me as well about this, so I get it. It's like, have you seen my to-do list? And it's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, because at the end of the day, it's the connection. She's very proud of you.
Thank you.
You have overcome a lot, and she's very proud of you. She walks with you, not behind you.
Wow, thank you.
Okay, so just so you know, she's haunting you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm well aware. Now we're all going to find dimes everywhere. Just wait.
There you go, right? So she's making her presence known. That's a little joke, you guys, okay? Thank you so much for receiving that. Oh my gosh. You know I have to let the chuckles go, right? Like, we can't get too serious, my friends. Oh my goodness, okay. Sorry, did somebody have a border collie that they had to put down that had liver issues at all? Oh, okay, sorry. Did you have to put the dog down in the last couple years? Okay. Can you say the dog's name? You're going to have to stand up. I'm sorry. That was unexpected, right? A dog showing up? Pardon me? Dice. Okay. Did you really struggle with the decision around this? There's a microphone right there for you. Sorry about that. Look at this. I'm putting you on the spot, hey? Okay, so Dice feels really good. You were very active and conscious with this dog, right? And you were very engaged. Did you guys do activities that cognitively challenged?
Yeah,
Yeah, like did you do...
knowing he was a working dog.
Yeah, you were really good with that. I just have to say, I had a mixed breed with a collie, and you did a lot better with yours than mine. Poor Kaya, she probably wished that she had an owner like you, because I'm like, wow, you did really good. That's really impressive. So I just want to remove, because sometimes you really kind of go into a spin, it shows a cycling of thoughts of, did I do the right thing? Did I make the right choice kind of thing? Because it kind of escalated quickly, right?
It was a long time.
But at the end, the discomfort, it felt like it just went 0 to 100, and you were like, okay, I have to put my foot down. Does that make sense as well? And was there a lot of medications as well?
No, there was a potential.
Okay.
Medications, but we
there's a
didn't.
recognition of thank you for not doing that, because when I get shown the medications that would have been incorporated, it's like a no, and it gets thrown to the side. Does that make sense as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, this is interesting. Do you have a male on the other side that you were hoping to talk to today?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this somebody close to aging you?
Well, I have so many. I don't know.
Okay. Because
Possibly.
there's a lot of male energy around you specifically, but this male feels within like a 10-year difference. Is there a brother on the other side?
No.
Is this somebody we would call our own energy as a brother?
I went to school with him, but no, like not super close.
Okay, okay. So who was the male that you wanted to talk to?
My dad,
Okay, can you say his name?
Greg.
Was he really like quiet?
Yes.
Yeah, because that's why he's not stepping forward. I can feel him walking beside me in this area, and I'm like, anytime now. But it feels as though he would not be the type to like step forward first, right?
Correct.
So it feels like Dice had to step forward first, because that's the weirdest thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
So sometimes they kind of have to decompress us so that we can receive them. I like his energy. He feels very knowledgeable. He feels very energized by knowledge, like he would always learn things and retain things. I feel like his brain was different. Does that make sense when I say that? It was the sense that he had a really interesting, unique kind of sense of humor. He was very good at holding on to information, or if he did something, he never forgot how. Does that make sense?
Maybe.
Okay, just because it feels as though my brain does not function like that, and I'm like, that is really neat, Greg. And he's like, I think so too. And was he kind of set in his ways with food? Why is he showing me bacon and eggs and toast and then repeating it?
He would always, we were farmers. He was a farmer, so he would
Okay.
always eat breakfast. But he
Okay.
passed away when I was young, so
Okay.
it could be, and I just don't remember.
Okay, maybe this is something that you always ask for. Does that make sense as well? So why am I getting a 7? Is that your age, or was it in July? Do you connect a 7 to any kind of specific special thing is your birthday in July 17th. Okay. I want you to hold on to that because he put a huge 7 in front of my head, and that is, we don't even know why, right?
Okay, yeah.
So maybe December 7th something happens, and then I get the email, and I'm like, I'm really sorry. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Did you tell him a lot of stories growing up? Like, do you remember talking to him lots and sharing your day and different things like that? Because he loved that.
Yeah.
That lit him up.
Yeah.
And there's something about his, was this a really quick transition for him?
Yes.
Because I feel like he was here and then gone. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he's sorry about that. His soul had to leave in that way because it was too hard for him to say goodbye. Does that make sense as well?
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot of love around him. He really
Yep.
cherished his life. He says some would say it's a simple life, but for him it was everything. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And was there a lot of transition with the land as well since?
Yep.
Okay. Was there like any weight on somebody around this because he's pulling it off my chest?
Yeah.
Did you battle with it?
Not battle, but there was, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of internal dialogue around
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's saying it worked out exactly as it's meant to.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because I feel like there were some benefits of letting go of it. Does that make sense as well? There's a little more freedom. It was his dream, it wasn't meant to be everybody's.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for receiving him.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when we're a little bit hesitant receiving, they will throw the most random stuff at me, and I don't know what's going on, but you will, right? So that's even better. Okay. Okay. Did anybody connect to a child? Feels very angelic, female energy, and she feels as though she did not see over 10 years old. She was very bright, she was very energetic, but it feels as though it was systematic in her body, and it was a decline that progressed very quickly. She shows me her transition happened within a year of a time frame. Oh, okay. Oh. Stand up, my friend. How are you?
Good.
Is this your beautiful daughter? God, she is bright, and she serves as a guiding force for you always, hey? And your work is honor of her, which she is so excited for. Can you please say her name for me?
Alexandra.
Oh, Alexandra feels so joyous. She is so busy here and there. And it feels as though she bounces continually through the realms just to connect to you. Does that make sense? Because we call her in.
Yes.
We call her in constantly, and she gets excited with this. Does that make sense as well?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry, you head on in. That's A-okay. All right. It's interesting because there's a duality here with her challenges into her transition because you were very conscious. You didn't want to waste a second. You wanted to be with her, but there was a lot of internal struggle around it. If we were making the right choices, if this was the right decision, if we should have fought that doctor on this and that. Was there something at all with a challenge in communication with one doctor specifically? Did your husband get angry with somebody but withhold it in the hospital?
I don't remember a specific thing.
She's showing me it was interesting because you guys were like mama bear energy, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it was like, do not beep with me. And I'm just saying the beep because we're on television
I'll own
apparently
that.
at some point.
I will own that.
Right? So it was like sometimes the doctors came in and they were disassociated and you brought them right
yeah,
back.
Okay, yeah, there was one doctor. There was a doctor that wanted to give her a drug that could have killed her. And I was like, you need to just deal with her. She's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to be difficult.
It was interesting. I'm just going to share this because it's a little funny. She showed me like dad wanting to take the doctor's head to the table kind of thing. I was that, but maybe we can follow up with that, right? Like she was like, it was like, Opie, I could have taken them. They would have gone for it. It was like, absolutely not. And not only that, it would have really affected her cognitive awareness,
Yes.
right? So she was
Yes.
really grateful because you also made choices that were very significant in the connection factor because she couldn't have just left. She had to have that time with you. Does that make sense? She had to have that time with you. And she's still with you every step of the way. That is the most beautiful part. So do you see her quite a bit?
I'm wearing her.
Oh, there we go.
This is her memory
beautiful.
bead. So
That is really beautiful.
I don't see her.
But do you get the
her.
wings? Do you feel
She
the
sends
energy
me,
of them?
yes, and she sends me ladybugs.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's funny because she keeps like, it's interesting the way she's doing this. She's flapping her wings and I'm feeling breezes. Like it's just this breeze. So it's like she's going through you as though she's hugging you a lot of the time. So I'm not sure if you get that energy breeze and that overwhelming sensation. And that's not something people would normally recognize, but she's really drawing attention to that she hugs you every day. Does that make sense as well? She's so honored to hold this lifetime with you, and she's very grateful for the respect and dignity you showed her soul through her transition, but not only the limitless life she experienced with you. She was very grateful. You guys don't do a journey without each other, and you never will. And she's excited to embrace you one day, but she's laughing at me right now because she says, you have to get busy. There's a lot of things on your to-do page. Right?
I wrote the book. What more do you want?
Right? But she's like, there's more that you're left to do. There's more that you
Yes.
want to explore, right? So that's even more exciting. She really honors that. So thank you for receiving that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's beautiful. All right, so I'm just going to take this moment here. You guys have your Kleenex, right? Okay. I just want to see because, here, who's a 96? Now, I know there's some empty seats. Oh, look at you. Well, you just want a reading with me, so good for you. So before you leave, just stop at the front there with either Nicole or Carrie and give them their information, okay? And they'll be able to support you with that. And I look forward to connecting, okay? And you guys, excitingly enough, I'm going to give you the heads up here, the first off. On November 24th for Black Friday, my intuitive course finally launches. I know everybody's been patiently waiting. So this is a course for anybody who wants to develop, explore, build, and understand these gut feelings, these pieces within. And on Black Friday, we have 25% off everything, including the course. So I just want you to know that's going to be there for you guys, and it's going to be exciting. So just a heads up, okay? Nobody else knows, so shh. All right. Okay. So it's interesting, my throat's being taken off, and I keep hearing mama, mama, mama. So mama, you need to stand up there. Now, we connected previously on my last read, right? We did, okay. And you have had quite the overhaul and change in everything lately, hey? There's the microphone for you.
Thank you.
I keep being told you got your son back.
Yeah.
So you can stand up too, mister. So it's interesting because you didn't believe in mediumship before, did you? And now it was kind of like, oh my God, they see it all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, good, good. Did we give up the vaping though? Because I feel like, is that gone?
No. But
Okay.
but I did leave it at home.
Hold
Good
on,
thinking about it.
folks. Okay,
You're
listen.
stepping in the right direction.
I keep getting the putting out again, okay? So just let's keep it out of the lungs, okay? And Mama, have you been able to decompress and breathe as of late?
I have.
Yeah, like you can actually sleep now. Yeah, so your son is just radiating my energy with joy and excitement and pride for you because this was a gift. You could see he heard, and you could see you could release. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
He's so proud of you. You've been making conscious choices and you've been changing things, but guess what? Now it's time to focus on you. So we have to take care of ourselves now, he says. We've been alleviated of this heaviness, of this challenge and burden that we experienced. It's still there. We're still processing. But he wants you guys to come together and do it. You guys, are you talking to him like way more now?
Him, me, I talk to him
All the time, right? But are you
day.
talking to him more?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, busted. That's amazing. He's laughing because he's like, listen, once in a while you threw it out like, I don't know if you're hearing this, but now you know he's hearing it, and you guys are like he's lit all the time talking to y'all. I don't know why I am using that word that is not part of my chuckle vocabulary. Tell me that's a thing, because I don't know what that means.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so he's joyous. He is really excited to see the future. There's a lot of possibilities right now. Did you even apply on a school or something recently? Or are you thinking about it and playing with it and researching it?
I'm thinking about going to school. Like, I'm looking at different opportunities right now.
Listen, this is a heck yeah. Like there is, do not slow down, do not yield. He is showing me, take it up a notch. Stop dragging your heels. He is so excited about this, okay? Is there something at all with health that you are exploring as well?
Not that I can think of off the top
Okay,
of my
that's
head.
okay. If whatever you're aligning to might connect to some kind of realm connected to that, I'm not sure. But I get a lot of black and white with the facts around whatever you're connecting to, so it feels very like strong lead, almost justice. Does that make sense as well? Like there's a very clear line of this is good and this is bad.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so
Like
what do you, because let me tell you how it is.
Yeah. So like, only thing I can kind of connect with that is like the right and wrong kind of thing is I work with troubled youth.
Good.
So like that's what I wanted to like do. Originally I wanted to do something so I could help kids go through like that have been through the same experiences or like feel the same as I have. And that's currently what I'm doing. Is
Good.
I'm working with a young kid that is very much like me when I was younger.
And you're
So it feels
leading
like
him
I'm
to the
giving
right.
back at that point. So yeah.
That's fantastic. And so that's where I get the justice in the sense of you're taking them out of the darkness and you're showing them the light. And you're leading them away from the destitute that they would have explored normally and now are going to a different. So this is something that he is just ecstatic about, so I don't want you to stop. Okay, lead with your passion, but put down the stuff that's affecting your lungs.
Yeah.
I just keep getting warning flag after warning flag. Like, are you getting a lot of wheezing when you wake up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I like can't breathe.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's not enough warning for you, right?
Yeah.
Being an asthmatic and getting pneumonia frequently, I mean, oxygen is precious, and when you
Yeah.
don't have it, you feel it, okay? So there is an urgency here, and before he kind of woke you up, and now he's just slapping you across the face with it, okay? He is not holding bars. He would be in your face right now, okay? And Mama, he just wants you outside moving more. He wants you feeling the energy of oxygen, the sun, getting that joyous connection outdoors because he really connects to you outside. Does that make sense as well?
Yes.
Okay. And are you getting a lot more birds and you're not happy about it? Is there like, are you scared of birds? Why am I getting like
Oh, I don't. Yeah. I
Oh,
don't
okay. Because he's
and
laughing.
they constantly are like when I come out the door, they're like flying.
And you're like ducking, right? But there's like a row of them everywhere you go. And you're like, why are you following me? And he's like, I'm here. So he loves you laughing. So don't stop laughing, okay? But I have to tell you, I am so proud of you both I am so excited for you both. And he was kind of with me for the last couple days, like knocking on me. I was like, listen, it's not time yet. I know you're excited, but you have to chill out, right? Like, I can't call them. I don't know. So I just wanted to thank you for receiving that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. You know, it's interesting because a lot of people don't recognize how involved Spirit is with us, nudging us, guiding us, making sure that we're connecting to the pieces in our journey that are meant to be. So when you get blocked, say thank you. A lot of people don't know that, but I've learned it. Oh my goodness, just 1 second here. All right, so I'm connecting over here. Okay. He's laughing right now. How are you doing? Okay, so I have the husband standing forward, and he's laughing because he's like, look at how much has changed. Does that make sense? Stand up, my friends. Are you daughter?
No, sister.
Sister, okay, because it's family. And are you the family friend? No? How are you connected?
We just met.
Oh, you just met? That's so funny. Well, you could have been. You could have joined that, eh? Okay, so let me just see here. Can you say your husband's name?
Curtis?
Curtis, okay. Were you kind of rocked with the story from her about connecting to me? Because you came to my office, right? And you were like, no way. No way he said that. There's no way she knew that. Does that make sense?
Well, I connected with you before and told her.
No way. So you were the no way. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny because he's laughing. He's like, oh, Pete, this is happening. And I was like, oh, okay. So are we doing better now?
Yeah.
Okay. He's showing me that we're able to get up every day.
Yes. Actually, since I talked to you, because
You
now
couldn't get out of bed, right?
I could, but it was just I had no desire for things because I thought this was the end of the road.
Yeah.
And you showed me that he was there.
Good.
And gave me strength.
Good. And you talk to him in the kitchen a lot, hey?
I talk to him all the time.
Right?
Everywhere.
He's laughing because it's like you're cooking in the kitchen and you're doing things and he's talking and it's just like he's there again. Does that make sense? And he's thanking you for receiving that. Oh. And he thanks you for connecting that because it was kind of the gift of life for her. Does that make sense? Okay. Sorry, are you getting a lot of the doors in your house? Like I keep hearing bangs in your house. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I hear lots of noises lately.
Okay, and the dimes, are you getting the dimes?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, because he's laughing about that too, because every time you acknowledge him as soon as you see those, right?
Yeah.
Who's getting the ink that he's like, please don't? Does that make sense? Is somebody trying to get the ink? Were you going to get the ink? He's like, Did you already get the ink?
No, but I really haven't.
You haven't booked?
Well, not booked yet, but I have what I want.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Was it the writing in his face or something?
It's actually his fingerprint.
His fingerprint, okay. Because I keep getting the circle on it, and was his name or the dates or something underneath it that you wanted?
Well, I'm kind of just still in the process of all that, but yes.
Okay, he's showing me script. He's like, the
Yeah.
tattoo artist is going to be like with the script, and he doesn't, I don't know if he likes the font. Just so you know, I feel like it's just might be out of alignment for him. Like it's just, I don't know if he likes the script, and I'm like, listen, I rock script. And he's like, So he might be judging me with his humor, but that's okay. I'm letting it slide since he's the spirit, right? But he's like laughing about this, but he's with you all the way with it, okay? And sorry, there's something unique happening with the ashes too that he wanted to acknowledge. Is there something occurring with that? Are we putting it somewhere special, but we're holding on to a piece of it?
Yeah, necklaces as well.
Ah, there we go. Okay, so he's acknowledging that. He's excited about that. You're excited about that too, right?
Yeah, because I know there's something in the works for me.
Okay.
I was gonna say, she's not supposed to know.
Oh, whoops.
Wow, that's what happens.
Oh, my goodness.
He's letting the secrets out.
Never come here if you've got a secret, okay? It's gonna. My apologies, surprise! All of Canada's gonna know that right quick, so I'm so sorry about that.
No,
but
that's
he's
okay. I
laughing.
kind of knew.
Right? Was he always bad at keeping secrets? Because he's like, yeah, he's laughing that, of course I would do that, right? So,
never
oh,
keep a
awesome.
secret.
Was that supposed to be Christmas too? Okay. Oh my goodness, I feel terrible. Well, surprise. So just know he walks with you both, and he's excited. He's like loving the shift in everybody, because I feel as though we have the hope that you talked about, but your hope is rippling into others, if that makes sense. It is as though it's just kind of expanding and giving other people hope that it's okay to walk forward. It's okay to get up every day, and it's okay to feel joy now and not feel the guilt with it, because that's what he misses most. He wants everybody laughing. He wants the fun. He wants the music. He wants everybody connecting, right? Like, he wants you in the garage a little bit more, he says. Are you avoiding it because that's like his space, but you want to go there, but you're like, I don't want to go there because it feels awkward that you're not there, but he's like, I'm there?
Well, it was kind of our place.
Ah, well, he's still there. He loves it, right? So he says, don't move too much.
Cleaning it up.
He has systems. He likes everything the way it was in there, but everything else you're welcome to kind of
Do whatever.
Yeah. Right? And did you guys get that stuff fixed on the vehicle yet?
Yes.
There's a ball joint, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you got that fixed, because he's acknowledging the ball joint, and he's saying this the gear stick that your son's kind of going a little more gentle, but he does get rammy on those like non-ice days. Does that make sense? Okay. And the brake pads, did those get done too?
No.
Okay, so just acknowledge the back brake pads. Those are wearing down, and he's avoiding doing them. So as soon as you can, get those done as well.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let him know. Everybody knows now. Does that make sense as well?
It does, and my son was he wasn't too happy about being rammy.
Yeah, well,
Told him, but
it's awkward,
he
right? How
laughed.
do you tell him? You're driving the car too hard. That's my baby, right? So,
It is his baby. That is his car.
right, he
Yes.
wants that to extend
Yeah.
and continue, because that's a piece of his soul.
That's a him. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you so much for receiving
you.
that.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. All right. So I think the best part about my work is that I really want to help people move through the grief. And it's not to disregard the grief. It's not to take it away. But it's that Spirit really wants us to keep living. They want us to keep experiencing that joy. We don't want to be limited in our life experience, because we're here to live. Okay. Was there a gentleman here that had issues with dialysis, that had to keep going to get his kidneys worked on, or issues with cancer in the kidneys? I keep getting a lot of pressure on my lower back. But he's taking away my breath, so I'm not sure if he was asthmatic, or he had pneumonia near the end, or there was something closing off in the throat. Please, somebody acknowledge him. There was something with his organs shutting down slowly. Thank you. Is this Dad? Oh, he is like a intense energy. He is very strong in stance, and you are a piece of him. Does that make sense? Is this Dad? Grandpa. Okay. He is strong with his energy. Hold on. Okay, he was like a strong protector and presence and conscious and family man and morals and ethics, and he was like, Opie, I was it. Like, if there was a role model, that would be me. Does that make sense? He loves your determination. You are a force to reckon with. Does that make sense? I don't know you, but I'm like, yeah. Like, there is no mountain that you won't climb. You just keep navigating forward, and you're like, listen, you can throw that obstacle, but I'm going to destroy it because I know where I'm going. Does that make sense as well? Oh, he's so happy. You talk to him a lot, though.
Oh, every day.
Every day. Sorry, there's something that you have that he's flagging me for. Just 1 second here. Okay. Do you have a cross or something, a wooden cross that you know that is connected to him that you own or is a reference?
I have a wooden clock in my office,
Okay.
and when I was, they told me to put my name on things in their house, like my grandparents, when I was younger, that I would want. And a couple of years before he passed away, when he started getting sick, he said, you might as well take this now.
Oh.
So it's a wooden, like hand-carved clock, and it's in the office.
That's beautiful. And did he have a strong religious connection
Yes.
as well? Okay.
Yeah.
Because do you own a cross too?
Bits and pieces, but
Okay.
not displayed.
Okay, do you wear a cross? I'm sorry, I didn't even see your necklaces there. I'm
No.
like, he's showing a reference of a cross, like either being close to the heart or close in the home.
There's a time turner on here.
Okay.
It's not a cross, and I bought it shortly after he.
Okay, so there you go. So that's acknowledging something that I wouldn't really understand why he's
Yeah.
showing me this, right? But I mean, I love that you've got the wooden clock because he loves the wooden pieces that he had. He had a lot of wood
Tons.
around him,
Whole house.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, did he create with that?
I know a lot of them are just like family heirlooms, and the whole house everywhere is like hand-carved stuff.
Oh, that's incredible because he's like really proud of his life.
Yep.
He's so proud of his life and he's proud of his family. Like everybody's doing really good, he says. Did you and Mom have some challenges?
Still do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he holds your heart with that because the impact of that has been felt for a long time and will be for a long time, but you are doing your darndest to heal.
Yep.
You're like, that is enough. I am not being held back by this anymore, and I'm going to give myself what I need. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah, he really loves that, and that's the determination that he's acknowledging. Your mom feels as though she's got some challenges with alignment.
100%.
Yeah, like it feels like neurology-wise, when I connect her, it just feels like they flip her upside down. So, yeah.
They're very opposite.
Yeah, very
people.
opposite.
Yep.
You've kind of led your life by the role model that she led it by the opposite of what she did. But her soul has done this for your expansion. So they want you just to acknowledge, because it's interesting when I get like the gratitude that Grandpa has for her kind of taking on this role in this lifetime so you could be the success that you seek. I get blocked, but he's like, there has to be a recognition she sacrificed so you could expand. It was your roles this
100%.
time and
So
this lifetime,
yeah,
right?
We moved here from South Africa. She's a doctor, so we left everything behind, and she started work here for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got the first experience of life that you really needed.
Yep.
And you haven't wasted a second. Sorry, do you have a little girl?
No, but
Okay. Is there like hopes of a little one at some point?
there was miscarriages, and
Okay.
there was, it's been brought up as a former life that there is a little girl.
Okay. Her energy still feels very connected to you, so I'm not sure if she's a guardian, if she's going to join
Yep.
you at some point, or she's acknowledging there, but she is very connected to you, and it's like the image of you. It's like your twin, they say.
Yep.
So it feels as though your mother might have been pregnant with twins, and she's the sole extension of that. Does that make sense as
Yep.
well? I'm not sure if that can be confirmed or not, but there's a recognition of that, and that's something that they're mirroring unique to my path as well. So that's very beautiful. She stands beside you always. And you named her?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, is there some reference to lilies at all for you?
It could be with the girl's name.
Okay.
So
Because is it Lillian or something?
Calliope.
Okay. Is that a flower?
It's a Greek muse
Oh, I don't know what a
that
muse
has
is.
to do with like poetry and some of the flowers.
Okay,
so.
thank you. Sorry, that is my human brain that is not accessible right now. I am limited to my box. Okay, so that's beautiful because there's a recognition of that as well, but there's also something around the actual lily flower. So I'm not sure if it's the smell, if it's the visual, or if it's the connection piece that you get a lot of that for you, but they're acknowledging that as well as kind of like a little gentle push of, I'm here. Hey. So I just want to thank you for receiving that, because there's a lot of joy connected to you. There's a lot of hope, and there's everything that you want is just waiting for you to access it. So don't stop. It's limitless, they say.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting impact, vehicle, right side, instant transition, but the body had a little bit of a delay releasing. This individual feels midlife when I connect them, so between the ages of 20 and 40. Oh, there we go. Okay, that was like a forced hand up by the friend there. That is a friend of love. Hello. That was a committed, do not waste this.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Can I get your name?
Teresa.
And what is this soul's name?
Jeff.
Okay. Whew, that was just, you got rocked. It was just an instant. Were you guys engaged?
He proposed to me, and I told him no because we were too young. We were only 19.
He's laughing as you're saying this, just so
Yeah.
you know.
So he had asked me what age is appropriate, and I said 21. He said, "Okay, hold the ring until we're 21."
And
And
he
I'll
transitioned right around there?
before, yeah.
Yeah, in the 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He was like, isn't that ironic? He had a fun sense of humor, though. That's
Yeah,
the
he
awkward
was
part
very-
right now. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know what to tell you. He's being awkward, he's laughing, and
Yeah.
he's joyous because he loved you. You guys just knew when you met each other how much you loved each other, but you were like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
This is going to fade. We're too young.
Yeah.
Right? And was he very busy? Like, was he really good academically and everything like that?
He was, yeah. Well,
Did he do a lot of sports?
he did do, yes.
Okay. Because he's showing me that he did a lot because his soul knew that it was going to be a shorter life. And he feels limitless in his love and energy because I feel like he would meet you and he would love you. Does that make sense as well?
He was that way with everyone.
Yeah. And it's just because he just loved life.
Yeah.
He loved life and you were like enthralled by it. You were like connected to it and you were
Yeah.
even engaged in it as well. You were like, wow, like, yes, this is a beautiful rainbow.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And do you see a lot of rainbows?
Yes.
Because what are the chances I would say that,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So you see a lot of rainbows and he gives those as confirmation that you're on the right track because you ask him a lot.
Yeah.
Does that make sense as well?
Yeah.
Okay, because he's showing me that sometimes you really struggle with choices because you want to do right and you want to make the right choices and you want
Right.
to go in the right way. Does that make sense as well?
Yeah.
He says you don't have to worry. You're exactly where you need to be. And sorry, do we have a connection now that we're kind of exploring? Okay, so that might be coming your way.
Maybe,
just so
yeah.
you know. He says you're a bit of a tough cookie because you keep your head down.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel safe to love. Does that make sense as well?
Yeah.
He's saying your heart needs to experience that. And that the one that he's going to put in your path is the one that's meant for you. So you don't have to worry. He's kind of doing the picking, but the hard part is you recognizing and being comfortable with it. So I feel like he's put some like pancakes in your path. To just kind of like boost your self-esteem here or get your toe wet there. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay, so he's just kind of laughing because he's like, she's kind of stubborn.
Yeah.
Does that
It's true.
make
Yeah.
sense as well? Sorry. And do you have a really hard time speaking to people?
Yes. Very, yeah.
He's asking for you just to touch your throat when you struggle, just to support that energy force because you're meant to speak your voice. He wants you to kind of hand over the fear. Fear's kind of kept you back in your journey and kind of kept you limited, and making choices on that hasn't exactly worked when it's supposed to. Does that make sense as well?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's just asking for you to trust a little more. It's not meant to be all joyous we have to appreciate some of the challenges too, which I'm laughing with him because I'm like, listen, I hear that all the time. I hate it. But he just wants you to know it's with purpose. Okay? And he thanks you for everything that you gave him. He would have married you every year from that point on.
Thank you.
And he owns you as his wife, just so you know. Okay? Thank you for receiving that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Is it a little creepy what I do? I have my one girlfriend that I'll message and she's terrified all the time. She's like, Opie, I don't want to look at it. I don't know what to expect. Okay. Okay. So I have a very distinguished man here who owns himself as a father. He feels as though he worked with a lot of paperwork. I'm not sure if it was law or he was a judge. It was something of a higher kind of realm for him. He was very proud of his work, but he was very systematic with it as well and helped a lot of people. He was very intellectual, but he felt safe to be soft at home. Outside of home, he was kind of a strong force. Is that resonating for anybody? He's taller, by the way. I'm looking up at him, and he feels very fit. I feel like he did jogging to just kind of decompress and get out of the house. Him and his wife may have had some challenges here and there, kind of communicating, because he was a little narrow-minded, he says, and he kind of acknowledges this. It feels like a ST kind of sound, like a Stephen, Edward. I don't know why I went from ST to E. Is that resonating for anybody's father or grandfather? Okay. Pardon me? Oh, Dwayne. Did he work in the law for? Okay, great. Let's try that out, my friend. Stand up. Okay, Dwayne. Is this your father? Okay. He's tall, hey? And he's strong. Like, he was really proud of it. And did he do a lot of jogging just to decompress?
We tried to do that together.
So he's laughing about that? Is that the funny thing? Okay, and you have not done it since, hey?
Well, not too much. I tried.
Was it always like a minute in and you were like, why are we doing this? Does that make sense too?
We always wanted to get in shape.
Okay.
It was a good idea.
And sometimes was he like a little tunnel visioned and not aware of his impact of his choices with everybody?
Probably.
And mom was a little on him about like, hey, you've got to be here once in a while. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? He's acknowledging that, and he's acknowledging the impact of that as well, because there was needs that weren't met. And there was things that fell through the crack. Does that make sense? Okay. Did he... So he met your husband, but did he have a hard time with him?
Oh, yes, he wasn't a fan. It took a...
I'm just being careful because this is going to be on the telly.
My husband, when we were in high school, would call too late, and Dad was never
Dad
impressed.
was so annoyed,
Yes.
right? He was like, no respect.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
He didn't abide by the rules, and sometimes he really pushed them.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that he pushed you with them. It was one thing if he pushed them, but he wanted to make sure you were okay.
Yeah.
And he's still a little annoyed with him, just so you know.
We all are.
Right? Like there's a little bit of challenge there that he's like, come on, step it up. This is your role. This is your family. You've got to do this. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yeah. But he says you're kind of limitless. And have you had some positive progress?
Yes.
Okay, so if anybody doesn't know, this is one of my longtime supporters, clients.
I say I'm her #1 fan.
Right? And you've had health issues, and he's just showing me that there's like a blossom that's happening. And it was funny because these pieces have been laid for you and you've been slowly listening to them and like abiding by them, even if they kind of were out of alignment. Does that make sense too?
Yeah, I had to really fight for it all.
Yeah, and he says it's working, right?
Yeah.
That's great. And are you planning a trip in the spring?
I'm going this coming week to Vegas, taking my daughters. So.
There we go. That's fantastic. Is this your daughter?
No.
No?
Well,
Okay.
we say my third daughter, but she's my
Okay,
niece.
that's so funny because I was like, well, he's acknowledging you too because you're connected to the realm, right? Like you're in the fam jam. Does that make sense? There's a lot of y'all. Okay, so he's excited for you with this because you need the sun. You're craving it. You're already over this winter, and it hasn't really even started. I have to say I'm over it too. But he's excited for you. He said, please just decompress. Turn the phone off. Are you on the phone a lot?
Probably.
Yeah. So let's just put that away. Let's enjoy that time. This is weird. Everything I do really is kind of weird, but this is kind of weird. He's showing me dune buggies. Are you planning on going something in the sand in the dune buggies?
Oh, I hope not.
Okay, good. Because he's showing me like that's not going to work out. It shows me something breaking down, being in the heat, and just being over it all. And it's like, let's go home. This is ridiculous. So if there's dune buggies, just sit out. Let them enjoy it, but just stay back, okay? Because I keep seeing like, just no. That's all, okay? Okay. And your mother's on the other side as well, and she stands beside him now. Okay. Have you been taking pieces of her with you always?
I don't think
For your
so.
treatments at all, do you have anything in your wallet that's connected to her?
No, but I talk to her when I'm there.
Okay. Because she's showing, and there's something significant around purple. Is there some kind of jewelry or anything that you own that you wear that's purple or connected to amethyst or something like that? Okay, so watch for this piece of jewelry that might be coming your way. There's something purple that feels like something that you're going to wear that's going to have energetic properties that are going to support you. So if you see something that you're called to it and it's purple, it's a heck yeah. So don't slow down, but they celebrate. They are excited and they're proud of you for not giving up and not getting stuck in your head. I think that was the hardest part for your journey. Does that make sense?
Yes.
To get out of the head, okay? And they say don't lose that. Get back into your body and feel it and own it and trust it. I think that's the hardest part, right? Okay. Thank you for receiving
Thank
that.
you.
Okay. It's interesting because sometimes we encounter illness in our journeys, but it's a lot of times it's spirit kind of halting us to reevaluate things. Because I don't know if you guys are like me, where it's either the 2x2 and then the 4x4 gets thrown into my life and then they implode me because I kind of fight things a little bit. So it's just a gentle reminder sometimes that we have to navigate a little bit different, be open to new opportunities in our path. Okay. I've got some spirits duking it out right now, so just give me a second. Just like, which one? All right, let's see here. Okay. Does somebody have a sister on the other side? She suffered, it feels as though, cancer in the chest area. So this is going to be either breast, lung, or something in the heart area. She feels as though this is a deep friendship that she had. She feels as though she was very active, very creative in her life, but very much in ownership of being a mother, she says. That was the purpose in this journey. She loved it. She feels smaller in stature, and she feels as though she transitioned around 45s. So this could be anywhere in the 40s. It feels as though she had a bit of a longer battle. It feels as though it started with one, and then we kind of got ahead of it, and then cancer came back, but it was spread a lot more. Oh, hello. Okay. Do you know who this is? Okay. It's interesting because I don't get a biological connection, but it's somebody you own as a sister. Does that make sense?
Not a sister, a friend.
But it was like a family. It was close. You let her in. Does that make sense
Yes.
too? Did you get frustrated with some of her choices? Did she get a little narrow-minded in the beginning and like not aware of the severity of it? And then as time went, she kind of...
No, I was the one that didn't accept the severity.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Because she's kind of chuckling about that now, which is awkward. I'm like, listen. She's like, if we only knew. And she's kind of funny in the way she communicates. Like she had quite a sense of humor about things, but it was kind of in her own way. Does that make sense as well? Okay. It feels as though she fought a good battle.
Yes.
And a lot of people weren't ready for her to transition, so she kept fighting for it. But at some point, she just had to release to the other side. Does that make sense?
Very much, yes.
Did she like love crafting? Why do I keep being shown crafts?
She didn't love crafting, but she loved purchasing crafts.
Oh, that's so funny. Was there a lot of popsicle sticks? Like, I'm just like, this is awkward. I don't know if I buy that. But it could be just like, she's showing me reefs and different things like that. Like, she loved exploring and seeing different pieces and having unique things.
Yes.
Does that make sense as well? She loved being unique.
Yes.
Did she have like an 90s kind of collective of movies and era and music,
Yes.
right? Because she feels like as though she was very dated in her sense of like love and appreciation of things. Yes. But did she love going outside too?
Yes,
Okay.
that's basically how we developed a friendship.
You guys would go for walks
Yes.
a lot, right? Okay. That's interesting. Okay. She's showing me a lot of challenges even speaking near the end and breathing. So she wasn't able to connect in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Did you have a limited access to her?
Very much,
Okay,
yes.
and she apologizes for that because that affected you more than anything.
Yes.
Yes.
When she passed, I didn't get to go see her in hospice because I stepped back feeling that it was time for her to be with family, and that's probably my biggest regret.
And she asked you to release that because you hold that as a wound.
Yes.
And she's trying to heal that because she doesn't want you to carry that, if that makes sense. She's asking for you to kind of connect to the connection you guys had together. If anything, she celebrates the laughter. You guys laughed a lot. Did you guys complain about your husbands?
Yes.
I feel like this was like a release and a thank God, let's get away and go for a stroll. Does that make sense
Yes.
as well? And just the challenges and things, but you guys connected on so many ways in regards to that. She held you as though a sister. She held you as family because you felt very connected in her space and very grateful for your connection because this, was it a 10-year relationship, maybe 15?
No, it was not 8 years.
Okay.
I guess close to 10 then.
Okay, touche.
Didn't feel that long.
It goes in a snap, my friends, right? Now, was there something connected to either the 15 or the 10 for her that was unique? Is there something with birthdays for you?
No. I don't
Okay.
think so.
Is somebody's birthday coming up at all?
Her son's.
Ah, because she's showing me the red balloon. She's really excited about this and going to be present with this. Are we doing something huge too?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, she's excited. She's going to be there, and it feels like a lot of energy. It feels like a little chaotic. I feel like I want to step back. Like I'm just like, listen, I just left the stage. I need my coffee, okay? So, okay. She loves you. And she's there anytime you think of her. The reason you're thinking of her is because she's there. She loves to still visit you. And she says, don't stop. Because you...
I did.
Yeah. You need to keep moving and going the way you were because you've stopped some goals. You've stopped some things that you were trying to achieve earlier, and she wants to reignite those for you because they're important in your journey. Does that make sense as well? Okay. Sorry. And do you get a lot of headaches?
Yes.
Okay. She's flagging something on the base of your right skull there. Does that make sense? Do you have like either like a muscle issue there or an impact or something from a car accident?
Not a car accident, but that's where I get my headaches. is right-
Okay, there's something here that she's kind of acknowledging we have to kind of look into, okay? So she's saying there's something there that can be alleviated, something that's going to be more manageable for you, but the priority has to be there, okay? So you have to be diligent on your care and water. But also she says explore it a little bit more, please, because you don't need to suffer. Does that make sense too? Sometimes she says you get stuck in the suffer, and she wants you to get stuck in the joy again. Does that make sense too? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for receiving that. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't believe it, you guys. I think that's our time for Spirit today. Did you guys enjoy that? So I just have to first thank you. I can't do a day of my work without individuals such as yourself coming and trusting me, taking that opportunity to connect to me and giving me that chance to connect you to the ones you love. I want to thank Access Now TV for trusting me in aligning with them. And I have to thank my beloved husband, who doesn't see much of his wife these days. My incredible parents, my mother is here, always giving me support and cheering me on. My beautiful son, who always encourages me, is here as well. And thanking you, beautiful souls who are connected to me, either from the beginning, we just met, or we'll explore further together. I just thank you for being a part of my journey. So very grateful. I hope you guys can take part on the 24th for the discount there. That'll be great, 25% off everything. And I look forward to supporting you most of all. Don't lose sight. Spirit's always with you. They always hear you. They're always going to encourage you. They want you to succeed. So allow them to be a part of your journey. And I just thank you all for everything today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was very kind, I have to say. Thank you. I will be out front and just give me 10 minutes, and I'd love to say hi to anybody who wants to pop by. But thank you, you guys. Have a beautiful afternoon. Take care.